In this episode of Rob Krusty Hike Across America, we continue with our mission, try to find something worth doing in every state. This week, we're in Pennsylvania, and we'll be checking out the Kinzua Bridge. But first, we finish up our time in New York and go into Letchworth State Park. Located just an hour south of Niagara Falls, off the 36 and Castle, Letchworth is one of the #1 state parks in the country. So we're here at Letchworth State Park here in New York, and we're going to check out this these waterfalls. And now that's just the dam right there. We actually can't see any good stuff until we get down a ways. Now our next stop took us to the Wolf Creek Overlook, where we were going to check out some of the smaller waterfalls. Another overlook point here in Letchworth State Park, New York. And before somebody corrects me, the name of the park is Letchworth, not Latchworth. Now the scenic drive here at Letchworth runs 17 miles, but has plenty of pullover spots. They also have a hiking trail that runs the entire length as well, which is blazed in pink, and just so happens to be the trail we're on right now, but we're only doing a small portion of it to get to these waterfalls. Actually, so far, a little bit better than I thought it was going to be. I knew there were some big waterfalls here, but I didn't know there was a bunch of little ones throughout. It was pretty cool. Now this would be a pretty cool double waterfall if you could only see it. They just need to cut that one branch out and it'd be perfect. Now our next stop was the Great Bend Overlook, which is one of your last stops before hitting the big waterfalls. Another overlook here. This is the Great Bend Overlook. And if you're not yet quite a fan of our channel, we do have over 60 videos and over 100 locations, which I'll leave a link to that up top. And if you do like this video, let us know by writing "Keep on Hiking" in the comments, and stick around till the end to see where we go to next week. Not one of their best overlook points, but it's supposed to get better as we go towards the end, or the beginning, depending on what entrance you came in. Now our next stop took us to Lower Falls, which is your first big waterfalls coming in from the east entrance. So we're heading on down to the Lower Falls here at Letchworth. And the stairs are down there. That's where we're going to be going.
pretty awesome.
Now this is Lower Falls, which is the smallest of the three. The other two are just down the road about a mile. Now our next stop took us to Inspiration Point, which I think is the best overlook in the entire park.
So we're at the Inspiration Point where you can see both the middle and upper falls here. And that is Middle Falls. Underneath that bridge over there is the Upper Falls.
Now our next stop took us to the Middle Falls, which is the bigger and most impressive of the three. Now the middle and the upper falls both seem to be pretty wheelchair accessible for the most part. The other ones, not as much. But if all you got to do was the middle and the upper falls, it'd be well worth your $10. And by the way, it does cost $10 to get in.
The Middle Falls at Letchworth. Still got one more to go. Headed to our last waterfall here at Letchworth. This is the Upper Falls.
Now you can access both the middle and the upper falls from the same parking lot. and I can see why Letchworth is one of the #1 state parks in the country. It's definitely worth your time if you're ever in the area. Now we're finally leaving New York and heading back home. But first, we stop in Pennsylvania and check out the Kinzua Bridge.
We're at the Kinzua Bridge State Park in Pennsylvania. I don't know if I'm saying that Kinzua right.
Hell, I couldn't even say Pennsylvania right, let alone the name of the bridge, but the proper pronunciation is Kinzua.
There's a lot of talents. One thing, obviously.
There's the bridge right there. Pretty cool. So we got a pretty cool little bridge museum in here. Pretty neat. We're gonna check that out here in a second.
Run through here. There was like a little train that went around.
The slower upper thing there, they had a train that flew around.
Was it totally like
What's that? Yeah, you want to go to the gift shop?
Now both the museum and the bridge are wheelchair accessible. However, if you wanted to get to the wreckage, you would have to take some stairs. Now the Kinzua Bridge was once the longest and tallest railway bridge in the entire world. That is until 2003, when it was destroyed by a tornado.
This thing is actually pretty cool and really high up.
Now the views from up here are pretty amazing, probably some of my favorites of the entire trip. Now the coolest thing about this park is the wreckage from the tornado is still there. This is one of those times where I'm glad they didn't clean it up. It makes for a really cool place.
Gonna do a quick trail down to the bottom. This place is pretty cool. It does have a couple different viewpoints and some trails you can do. And this was the Kinzua Bridge, or Kinzua Bridge. Still not sure I'm saying that right.
In the next episode of Rob Christie Hike Across America, we're back in Ohio, and we're going to one of the funnest places I've ever been, and that's Hocking Hill State Park. So if you found yourself liking this video and you want to see more, please like, share, subscribe. There's plenty on the channel, more on the way. Until next time, keep on hiking.